Welcome, everybody. I accidentally logged in as Becca Thorpe, but my name is Alice Harden. I do love Becca Thorpe, though, and gladly claim her name this evening. I'm in Jackson, Tennessee, and it is Tuesday, the 22nd of September. 20th of September. And I'm so excited tonight because we have some amazing, amazing women that you all are going to get to hear their stories. If you are logging in to this as a recording, welcome to just the best 30 minutes of your life. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I had the privilege of meeting these women a few months ago, and getting to hear their stories, and it was just too good not to share. They all three have amazing hearts. They're all three moms, and they all three have a mission that is so amazing and empowering, and I hope that you all leave just as inspired as I was. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started talking to a Texas microbiologist. How many times a day do you get to say that you know a microbiologist? And after today, you will get to say that. Her name is Layne, and she is just a sweet, sweet woman that has such an amazing, impactful story. So, Sally, I was just wondering, hi, can you unmute yourself? I'm going to say hey to you. Click the unmute button. Here, I'll unmute you. I think I can do that. Let me find you. We can do this.
No, there we go. I was trying to do it on my computer. This is good.
Oh, okay, great.
There.
Yay! Wonderful. Okay, so Sally, what part of Texas are you in? And would you mind telling us a little bit about your health background, and maybe just a little bit more about your professional background, and then kind of where you are now?
Sure. I live west of Austin, 2 hours west of Austin, Texas, and that's about as close as I can get because we're out in the middle of nowhere. And my background is I am a wife, I am a mom, excuse me, I am a grandmother, is that me? Is that mine doing that? I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, and 14 years ago, our oldest son died of a pediatric cancer. He had fought the battle for 9 years, and we were devastated physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, you name it, we were devastated. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
There. Okay. 2 years later, my dad invited us again to come hear about Juice Plus. Prior to that, my husband was one of those doctors. We had taken it for 4 months when it first came out, and he said, this is another snake oil product, and we will have nothing whatsoever to do with it. And this time, when my dad invited us, my husband read the 9 research articles that were available at that time, and he said, this makes sense. This is something we need to do. And we signed up for Juice Plus the products and Juice Plus the business that same day. And within a very, very short time, I noticed some dramatic changes. First of all, I had a dramatic increase in energy, and I'd been really struggling for a long time. And my digestion improved. I'd battled with irritable bowel syndrome most of my life, and that was a dramatic change. And then over time, all my allergies were eliminated, and my hair, my nails, and my teeth, and my eyes were all improved. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But all of those things happened pretty much overnight. And the fact that my son had died, it was really ironic because I had thought I was called by God to cure leukemia as a small child. And from then on, my entire education was toward curing leukemia. And so I'd gone through college and graduate school to cure leukemia. And when it became very clear that I was not going to be part of any solution, I dropped out. So I was not a microbiologist very long, through graduate school. And so when did I become passionate about this? Well, 4 years ago, shortly after my best friend had died of ovarian cancer, I heard about the Juice Plus study that had been done at MD Anderson with ovarian cancer survivors. And that is where my son had been treated for Ewing sarcoma, the pediatric. He had an inoperable cancer in his spine. And I was sitting there in the conference and I went, oh my gosh, what if instead of this destroying us, what if this was my reason for living? And I realized at that moment that I could impact a lot more lives by sharing what I knew about Juice Plus, what I knew about health, what I knew about disease with the people I knew and loved. And what if I had a team that could share with their friends and family that I would never be a part of, never know, and we could affect change around the world. And I wanted to mention what excited my husband. Financially, it's become more important to us as he's really transitioning into retirement. But as he's transitioned into retirement from full-time medicine, he's transitioning more into part-time and then hopefully full-time Juice Plus. And what has given him his passion just in the last couple of years is learning and studying. He studies everything, studying the microbiome. The microbiome is all of the microbes that inhabit our body. They're on all of the skin and all throughout our body, lungs, genitourinary tract, sinuses, but primarily in our gut. And we are outnumbered 9-to-1 in the number of cells in our body by the number of microbes in our body. As far as the genes are concerned, we're outnumbered 100-to-1. And each one of those little microbes have a vast impact in our health or disease. They're thinking that now up to 90% of all disease relates to a healthy or an unhealthy microbiome.
Oh.
And the thing that has excited my husband is when we first heard about Juice Plus, not first heard about it because he said snake oil, but when he first read the research, he said, this makes sense. And when he started reading about the microbiome, he said, now I know why. Mm. The things that feed the microbiome are prebiotics, and prebiotics are fruits, vegetables, and good fiber. Now, does that ring a bell with anyone? Fruits, vegetables, and good fiber. And now, yes.
If I can interrupt you just for a second. There are maybe some people that don't know what Juice Plus is. Would you just explain briefly what it is?
Yes. Yes.
Totally rings a bell with me. But
okay. Juice Plus is 30 fruits and vegetables in capsules or in a chewable form, primarily for children. And if a child can swallow a capsule, that's even better because it has enzymes that are not in the chewable. It would make the chewable a liquid. And Juice Plus has 35 research studies showing that it affects, interestingly, the same thing that the microbiome affects. Mm. So the microbiome has to do with healthy hair and nails and skin. The microbiome has truly beauty from within. Any skin product that is outstanding and is sold, it could be even made better with a healthy microbiome. Mm. Skin, psoriasis, acne, several others are as a result of an unhealthy microbiome. We have a study that shows that the skin is impacted by Juice Plus. And my husband said, all the 35 studies that Juice Plus has are overlaid by a healthy microbiome.
Wow.
And they say if you are unhealthy in any of a variety autoimmune diseases, Juice Plus helps with autoimmune diseases. Unhealthy microbiome is a result of our body attacking our body cells as a result of things getting into our circulation through the gut that shouldn't be there. And it goes on and on and on. I have a paper that my husband has written. It's not a research paper, but it's his. If anybody wants it and can let me know, I will send it to you because it's something that I feel very, very strongly about. So anyway, that's the reason my husband is passionate. I mean, I was in Maryland talking about this, and a woman walked up with a new study that came out that day in the Wall Street Journal. My husband is now talking to me about things that he's learned about C-section babies and things they're doing with C-section babies to improve their microbiome, which they get in the vaginal canal naturally. But a C-section baby really is basically born without a microbiome. Our company is a company with a heart. They want every person who's involved in this company to succeed. They want healthy people around the world. That's their mission, is to inspire healthy living around the world. They make it possible for us to have bonuses and incentives and a corporate package and a pay plan that's unlike it is better than any other network marketing, and in fact, corporate package in the country or probably in the world. And I am so proud to be part of this. And our company is now doing a study with the microbiome and Juice Plus and Juice Plus Complete, which adds the healthy fiber that we need. And interestingly, when I started Juice Plus Complete, which my oncologist told me I couldn't have, and then my internist said, absolutely, you can have that. I lost about 15 pounds that has been off for the last 5 years. For the first time in my adult life, my weight has not seesawed in my adult life, and I'm 71. I'm training for my third half marathon, something I would never have done 11 years ago, raising money for St. Jude. They treat the cancer that killed my son, and I am so passionate about what I get to do and what I get to share with people every single day. It gets me up in the morning. It makes me so excited to be part of this. And my mom just died a month ago at 98 and a half. A year ago, she could still beat me at Scrabble. Both my parents died well into their 90s with their minds. There is nothing about being involved with this that doesn't give me great joy. And thank you all for being on this. I'm so grateful that Alice asked me to do this. It's been a real gift. Thank you.
Oh man. And Sally, you are such a gift. I just love you and I love your heart. It is so pure. I just love that. And I'm going to be at the St. Jude Half Marathon. So I'm going to do my best to beat you.
Oh, you will. You will.
I don't know.
Oh, you will. I walk.
Steady wins the race sometimes. But yeah, you and I we can rock it out together. And
absolutely.
One really cool thing about the St. Jude Marathon is that Juice Plus is actually the key sponsor. And they have helped to raise over $8 million this past year. That just this past year, they raised over $8 million. So we're just really excited about being a part of prevention and then a part of helping treat families. So Sally, I just love your story. And I love that you're such a thriving 71-year-old foxy mama. And
boss babe. Boss babe.
You are a boss babe.
You told me I could be a boss babe. I'm so excited.
You're so totally a boss babe. So another amazing foxy mama that I know on this call tonight is Josette Huig, who is, I call her the Cuban sensation sweeping the nation. And she is a stiletto coach, which I would love it if you would explain a little bit more about what that even means. And maybe you could show me how to walk in stilettos. Is that what it is?
That's part
part of it. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot more to it, but the minute I met Josette, I was just blown away. In fact, she's breathtakingly gorgeous, and she's just got such a wonderful, wonderful heart. And I don't want to steal any of your thunder from your story because it is so amazing. And I'm just so proud of you because you are really a picture of determination and the outcome of awesome goal setting. And I just want to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. And thanks for tuning in. And I actually have everything in a presentation. So I'm going to share my, my presentation here. Hold on a second. I hope you guys can see it all. Oh, great. All right. Hold on a second. All right. Hold on. Let me go back again. Sorry about that. I was missing a few pictures there. All righty. All right. Well, there was one slide missing. But this is my family. I am Josette Huig. Again, I am a qualified national marketing director with the Juice Plus company, and I'm a single mom of 4. And I am, as you've heard, a stiletto coach, but I'm also a personal trainer, a fitness instructor, and a nutrition coach. And I have a weekly radio show called the Get Josette Show on WMRC Radio here in Massachusetts. And I wasn't always into fitness and wellness, though. For those of you, my background is actually, I was a broadcast journalism major at University of Miami, and I was a sportscaster for Univision, which is the Spanish network, for a couple of years. And I wasn't always fit. In fact, that picture right there is me on the left most of my life. And in fact, I was overweight my entire life. I had my, I remember my first diet at the age of 10. And then I remember every other diet that you could imagine between Weight Watchers and Atkins and a whole boatload of anything that came up, I was doing it. And in the year 2004, everything changed. And that's because after having my 4th child, I suffered a really bad bout of postpartum depression. Actually, I suffered postpartum depression with each baby. But I don't know if those of you who don't know, with depression, it gets worse each time. And in 2002, after having my son, the depression got worse, medications, changing medications, it was awful. And finally, in the year 2004, I decided that I had to save myself in order to save my children. And I knew I had to make a drastic change. I had an ex-husband who was my husband at the time, who was checked out emotionally, and I knew I needed to save myself. So in the year 2004, I sat down with a calendar and a Sharpie, and I decided to make one change a week. And my first change was my coffee. Well, the cream in my coffee was skim milk. And the second week, instead of having, Cuban bread, which is like French bread, I changed it to a whole grain Ezekiel bread. And lo and behold, 4 months later, I had dropped 40 pounds. And within 7 months, I was able to wean myself off my antidepressants. And then that's truly when my journey into fitness started. And as many of you may know, the journey towards wellness never ends. It's definitely daily. And then I started getting into bodybuilding shows and fitness competitions, and I was introduced to the world of supplements. And let me tell you something. I came from a background of, my father was a president of a pharmaceutical company, and I thought everything in the supplement world was also tested just like pharmaceuticals. Not that speaks anything about it. There's many pharmaceuticals that have been removed after being introduced, but I trusted the supplement industry. And I learned the hard way that it is filled with just synthetic and fake stuff, and it's not what's on the label. They don't have to print anything on there. It can be, the claims aren't in there. And I learned really the hard way. And unfortunately, it did a lot of damage to my body. Also, this is pretty much what my diet looked like. Going into bodybuilding, I learned, first of all, very hard for women to build muscle. And second of all, very hard for a Latina woman to lose body fat. And I found out very early on that I had to stop eating fruits and vegetables because of the sugars in the fruits and vegetables. I spent a better part of 2 years not eating fruits and vegetables. In fact, on the bottom right-hand corner, that pancake with strawberries, that was probably a high carb day for me when I was allowed to have strawberries. But yeah, I spent the better part of 2 years not eating fruits and vegetables. And so, although I did get to lean out, I did, you know, get my figure body that I wanted on the outside. I was a hot mess on the inside. And from systemic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, depression, again, hair falling out, my skin was dull and flaky. I wasn't sleeping. It was just awful. And I knew I had to do something about it. And many of you don't know this, but, you know, men and women, of course, you know, not only are we completely different as far as our bodies, but our ability to put on muscle and our ability to lose fat, of course, is way different than men. And I found out very quickly that why are we training like men and eating like men when we have to deal with our hormones? And I started doing a lot of research and studying, and I started coaching other girls. And I make this comparison that men are like Volkswagens and women are like Lamborghinis, because the men can train, you know, they have the testosterone. They can train and, you know, they can do stuff, crazy stuff, and they'll continue to get results. But a woman, we screw around with our hormones, one thing falls apart and the whole thing, the shit hits the fan, I like to say, and it falls apart. And, you know, then that's where it really becomes so difficult for women because of our hormonal imbalance. We're like Lamborghinis. So we have to be very, you know, handled with delicate gloves, I have to say. And here's a perfect example. Look at the difference. Male testosterone, you know, the decline goes over 70 years. Look at the woman's menstrual cycle. This is just in a matter of 28 days, guys. Okay, we're like an EKG chart. And it's no wonder we have a hard time when we get, I always say, like, we get one good week a month where the stars and the moons align and we feel great and we're not retaining water and we're not cranky and everything is perfect. And then the other 3 weeks, everything is going out of whack. And so it's very difficult for us to really embrace that. So then I started dieting my competitors according to the menstrual cycle, the follicular phase. You know, you might experience more cravings. There's high estrogen levels, which means a better ability to use carbs. And it's a good time to increase your carbs and calories slightly. It's the best time for high intensity and low volume. And HIIT trainings are great. So that's basically from the day that your day one of your menstrual cycle until you ovulate. And then from the time that you ovulate until you menstruate, your luteal phase, body's more likely to add body fat. Why? Because it's preparing for an impending pregnancy, perhaps. That's what happens. Your cravings have decreased or vanished initially, and then you reduce your carbs and calories to normal levels. And it's the best time for lower intensity and higher volume of aerobic training. And this is where we start to lose our great strength, you know, and so I always tell the girls to reduce their weight bearing training and maybe just increase their reps. And it's really a good time for recovery, active recovery, like yoga and that kind of stuff. But then I was introduced to the world of Juice Plus. So my friend Kim Vanderheiden, I met her when I moved to Massachusetts. I was at we were at a health fair, and she came up to me. I was at a table. I was talking about fitness and stuff, and she came up to me and she goes, "Hey, have you heard of Juice Plus?" And this is in the midst of my chaos. And I go, "No." She goes, "It's fruits and vegetables in a capsule without sugar." And I'm like, "No shit, like no sugar? Are you kidding me? This is awesome. Like, why isn't this in the supplement stores?" And she goes, "Well, because it's not a supplement." And I was like, wow, okay, I'll take it. So I immediately got it. I knew my body had been more than just deprived from fruits and vegetables for 2 years. So I totally got it. And I said, sure, children's health study, I'll get my kids on it. Why not? And I'll tell you about them afterwards. And the Juice Plus and prevention. And let me tell you, this for me was the game changer, because what people don't understand about supplements is that they're the biggest threat to the integrity of the personal training industry. And it's really up to us to be a part of the solution and not contribute to the problem. And I've got no issue really with trainers recommending supplements to clients and getting a commission if that trainer has done his or her due diligence. And if you're recommending something that your client is going to spend a lot of money on and put in his or her body, you must know what's in it, any counterindications and how effective it actually is. I always say, you know, yeah, it's my job to make you look fit for a contest, but it's my responsibility to keep you healthy. And the supplement industry isn't just about mass gainers and protein and creatine anymore. There are all other types of, quote, miracle pills and powders. So just this for me was a huge component as a responsibility as a personal trainer and a coach. So as you can see here, I mean, I can see it, the difference between my before Juice Plus and my after Juice Plus in competition. I was just way healthier on the right side and felt so much better. And just hormonally, everything is just in sync, like that Lamborghini that I showed you earlier. And now I train my fitness competitors as well. With Juice Plus, again, it's my responsibility to keep them healthy. I want to make sure that they're still getting their menstrual cycle. I train them and diet them according to their menstrual cycle. I even competed with my daughter a couple of years ago. That's my daughter Chandler on the right-hand side. And it's just been really, really great. But even more so, some of my other stories. This is my client Heather, and I had been training her for a couple of years, and she had tremendous IBS. And this is a difference with Juice Plus, and also removing dairy and gluten from her diet and putting a probiotic. And she looks even better than that right now, actually, because she's still taking Juice Plus, and she's still, not only did she weed her gut, but she planted her healthy soldiers, and then feeding the healthy soldiers in your gut with Juice Plus is brilliant. This is Jess. She had mono. She came home from college. She wanted to compete that summer, but she had just been diagnosed with mono. I'm like, I am not touching you with a 10-foot pole until you talk to your doctor. But doctor said yes. We doubled up on Juice Plus on those 12 weeks. Her workouts were literally only 30 minutes a day. That's all she could do. And her recovery from mono was incredible, outstanding. This is my friend Shannon. She has MS, and she's been from 5 medications down to 1. And it's just, and she's living symptom free. She's been symptom free now for 2 years, Shannon, from MS. It's just brilliant. It's just amazing. Nancy, who was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she said she was the best looking chemo patient. And we laugh, but it was just amazing how this woman is an air traffic controller, and she didn't miss a day of work. And so not only is she a breast cancer survivor, but look how fabulous she looks too on top of it all. I was just so proud of her. But mostly I'm most proud of my 4 children. I never imagined what it was going to do for my 4 kids. You see, my 4 kids are extreme ADD. I love them to pieces, but it's like living with 4 Jim Carreys, and they're totally exhausting. And it was very severe. And my daughter Chandler in the bikini there, she also got Lyme's disease when we moved to Boston, and it attacked her brain. So she also became bipolar. And I can't tell you right now, in the last 2 years, she has been symptom free of Lyme's. And my kids who were chronic strep throat and ear infections, we have been antibiotic free now for 6 years. And as you can see with my 3rd daughter, she's free of her allergies. My son Jackson, who was covered in warts and was so embarrassed, it's all gone. I didn't realize that warts were a virus. So you gotta, kill the virus. And my daughter Mackenzie, she hasn't been sick going into her 4th year of college. So it's been, for me, it's been a really, really life-changing thing, not just for myself, my family, but to make such a huge impact with any person that I touch, whether in person or through Facebook, my community, my social media. I feel like I can make a greater impact with this product than I can teaching a gazillion classes. And I did own my own studio, and I was able to finally close those doors after 3 years of waking up at 3:30 in the morning and start training clients at 5 a.m. I make a greater impact now with Juice Plus, and it's certainly not just my mission, it's my crusade. So I thank you for your time tonight.
I love it, Josette, and thank you for sharing. And I think just something that's really impactful to me is that you did this all as a single mama of 4. You built this business. And I've had my toddler by myself for like a week. I thought I was a saint. So I just appreciate you even taking the time to share this with us tonight. So love you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. And I still want my stiletto coaching. Well, finally, I just want to introduce you guys to one of my sweet friends that I just respect and admire so much. She's in a similar phase of life as me as a mom of a toddler. And but she has a very different background than I do. And it just is so amazing to me just because she has had the unique experience of being on the other side of the research. She gets to look at the research and understands that, but she also has an amazing health story. So I want to introduce you guys to my friend Julie Gervasi, not Rocco Gervasi. That's her husband. We both have the wrong names tonight. But she's in New Jersey. And Julie, I just would love it if you'd share a little bit about your background. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
I'd love to. I mean, what a hard act to follow, Sally and Josette. I was learning things, and I feel like I've been in this business for quite some time, at least in the healthcare industry. But my background is in nursing. I was a floor nurse, a hospital-based nurse for 10 years here in New Jersey, working, different floors. So I got to see a lot of different things. And then for the last 3 years of my career, I worked for a major university here in New Jersey doing clinical research on nutritional supplements, never knowing that this would be my future. But it was very, very eye-opening for me to look and see, what we were being inundated with, all the supplements that Josette was talking about. I worked primarily with doctoral students who are preparing dissertations. So they were young kids bringing in certain fad-like supplements, and we would test them and, to find out, what was better, cardio or exercise for burning fat using this particular supplement, or what's better for fat loss. I did blood draws. I got to really see the clinical research side. So, and then with a background in nursing, I was very intrigued about what really was healthy for the body. I think it was personal because what I was looking for was really an answer for myself. I was the kid, tonsils out at 6 years old. I think that I was probably allergic to milk and didn't know it. Carried on through my whole life, shots of penicillin in my bottom. Several times a month. I was always chronically getting sick. Then as a high school student, I probably had 8 sinus infections a year, constantly on antibiotics. And at that particular point, I had no idea that antibiotics disrupt the microbiome that Sally was talking about. And then my descent into illness really began. Once you affect the microbiome by disrupting the good and bad bacteria, remember that antibiotics do not discriminate against that. So it wiped me out. And at that point, probiotics really were nothing that we even talked about. And I started to get crazy symptoms, IBS. I think that's a common thing that, in my opinion, and working in healthcare, it really means we don't really know what's wrong with you. So we're going to put a kind of a blanket term on that. There were times that I could go, couldn't stop going, couldn't go. I could never rely on my gut. And then I would start to become very ill and not able to get over that for a long time, never really knowing that was all, my health was really based and my immune system was based in my gut. So the microbiome became incredibly important. And as I didn't correct it and continued to live my life, the microbiome affects your brain also, like what Josette was talking about with her daughter, that my descent into physical illness then turned into more of a mental illness when I became very anxious, depressed, and then started to develop some eating issues, primarily more anorexia. And, looking back, it all makes sense. So I'm so glad that I had the journey that I had, because it's provided me with an opportunity to talk to a lot of people on many different levels. But I think that I wanted to become a nurse because I wanted to help other people, but I really wanted to learn a lot about myself. So I became very, very passionate about helping others. And, when you get out of school and you're gung-ho and you want to help everyone and you want to take care of everyone, and then reality sits in and you're in a hospital and I'm carrying trays to people full of high fructose corn syrup, fake potatoes, eggs out of a box. And I'm thinking to myself, all the things that I've learned, is this the most healthy thing that I can be giving to somebody who is ill? Providing them with a drink that is really dead food, and providing them with tube feedings that I think to myself, boy, if we could only put Complete in hospitals or Juice Plus in hospitals, I wonder, that would be the best study in the world. I would love to see it. But my husband is a physical therapist here in New Jersey, and he had the privilege of actually developing nutritional supplements. He was working on that end. So we kind of have a symbiotic relationship, because I worked on the clinical side on a completely different project, and he was working more on the pre-workout bodybuilding, that side. So we got to see the ins and outs, and he kind of put together a presentation, and I pilfered some information off of it, but I was blown away when we saw results of supplement studies and really started to examine them. We pulled something from the New York Times, and it was February of last year, and authorities tested top selling brands of herbal supplements from Target, GNC, Walgreens, Walmart, and 4 out of 5 products did not contain any of the herbs on their label. Does that bother you? I mean, so many people rely on these big box stores. They just go in, they think, oh, I need this vitamin, that vitamin. I can't sleep. I need this supplement. I'm constipated. I can't stop going. Whatever it is, I have a headache, and they just pull something off the shelves. And what we found is that a lot of those pills contain cheap fillers like powdered rice and asparagus, and even houseplants. I mean, houseplants in something that you're buying from a store that you shop in all the time. And I think what a lot of people don't know, and what Josette touched on before with her father being, in the pharmaceutical industry, is that these products, these supplements are not regulated by the FDA at all. They basically are, the FDA requires the companies to give their thumbs up saying that what they've put out is safe and effective. So basically they're operating on the honor code. And for somebody who recommends products to all walks of life, people who are ill, teenagers, children, pregnant women, the honor code is not good enough for my body. I'm not sure if it's good enough for your body, but it's certainly not good enough for mine. And if the world is spending $28 billion on nutritional supplements, the honor code might not be good enough for you too. So they're not regulated, and they're not NSF. NSF is what Juice Plus is. NSF is a third-party tester, and it basically says that Juice Plus tests their product 6 times to the 7th decimal place for contaminants or chemicals before they encapsulate it. If they find anything, it is thrown out. It's a product that I give to my daughter. It's a product that I take every day. And I take it every day because I have an autoimmune disease. So backtrack to what I was talking about before about, my illness. And what I didn't know is that what was brewing all along from all this antibiotic use and not proper, not feeding my body properly, is that I was developing celiac disease. And why I kept testing negative for all of these years, and for 10 years, doctors did not really know what was wrong with me, is because I didn't fit that clinical picture. So there may be someone who's listening to this call who, they feel like there's something wrong with them, or they've continued to have digestive issues, but they test negative for celiac disease or for some other type of disease. You may just not be fitting the clinical spectrum. And finally, when I was able to find a doctor who helped me, the first question they asked me was, do you do better off of gluten? And I said, well, I've tried to get off of gluten for like 2 weeks, but nothing happened. And she looked at me and said, it needs to be at least 4 months. So that was the first clue. Also, people with autoimmune diseases, their microbiome, their guts don't work properly. So they need nutrition that is bioavailable. And that's what I really love about Juice Plus, is that I can take these I take double dose every single day, but you can take these 6 little capsules and they get right into your bloodstream. You do not have to digest them, and it works right away. So I wanted to share with anyone who might have an autoimmune disease on this line what Juice Plus did for me. Within about 2 weeks, I started to notice that my energy definitely was improving. I mean, if you're only absorbing 25% of your nutrition, if your gut isn't working properly, imagine how bad you feel. I mean, you really have high calorie malnutrition if you're eating lots of calories, but your body is not absorbing it. My hair would never grow before. Now it grows like a weed. My nails, super strong, super long. I was not really anxious or depressed. I was malnourished. And adding Juice Plus into my diet every single day helped to rebuild my health. I was actually introduced to Juice Plus by a physician. He's my neighbor. I mean, talk about 6 degrees of separation. His name is Dr. Joe Winston. And Sally's father introduced Juice Plus to this gentleman. And he said no to it for almost 10 years. Until he too read the 9 studies that were available at that time and said, get my wife, who was a breast cancer patient at that time and survivor to this day, get us on it right away. So when he introduced Juice Plus to me, I said, no, 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 for about 8 months, because I thought, I'm a research nurse, I'm an athlete. If I haven't heard about this, it can't be that good. So I said no to him until I was walking to my car with my 10-week-old baby. And he said, Julie, excuse me, I think I might know a way for you to stay home with your daughter. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this sweet man, he's going to introduce me to, one of his colleagues. I can work in his doctor's office. This is going to be great. I'm going to go over to his house with my husband for dinner, and, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to leave the hospital. I'm going to be able to spend some time with my baby. So when we went over to their house to have dinner, he shared Juice Plus with me. And to think that I'd said no to food in a capsule, not a supplement, but food in a capsule, I was kicking myself because I could have taken it when I was pregnant. And that just breaks my heart, because I could have given my daughter so much more nutrition than I could absorb. But I am proud to say that my daughter Layne has been on Juice Plus since she was 10 weeks old, first through my breast milk, and I nursed her for 2 years. And then as soon as she could eat solid food and wanted to eat solid food, I added it to her diet. And to this day, she has never needed a medication. She's gotten little colds, but gotten over them very quickly. She is resilient, and I know that she just started preschool, and I know that every morning when I'm opening those little capsules up into her smoothie or her, whatever I'm feeding her in the morning, that I am putting a nutritional seatbelt on her. And that just, it warms my heart. I know that my husband, who's comes in contact with, tens of patients every single day, is not going to come home with a cough or a cold because he is protected nutritionally. But I wanted to also share with people, because people ask me all the time, well, they look at the label and it's very difficult to understand that Juice Plus carries a food label instead of a supplement label. And so, I'll say to them, well, your broccoli doesn't carry a label. This is just a food. So you have to change your mindset a little bit. So they're looking at it and they'll say, well, Juice Plus only contains this percentage of vitamin C, and my supplement here contains, 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. And I'll say, okay, well, an apple contains about 5.7 milligrams of vitamin C. Yet the oxidant effect of the various phytochemicals in the apple is equivalent to 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. So getting that whole food nutrition to work in synergy, imagine what your body is going to feel like if you're taking 30 different fruits and vegetables every single day. Something's going to happen, and it's going to be good, I promise. So whether you're on the prevention side or you're here to treat disease, food really is the only way. And from a nursing perspective, I took hundreds, maybe thousands of intakes of patients, and it was the lifestyle choices that normally brought them into the hospital. It wasn't the people who were eating tons of fruits and vegetables every single day and getting 30 minutes of exercise and drinking water. I don't like to teach people diets. If diets work, we would all be thin. We would all be well. But diets aren't effective, and neither are multivitamins. I mean, the American College of Physicians in December of 2003 said there's no health benefits to multivitamins, and they're not effective. They're absolutely not effective. So if you take a multivitamin and you go to the bathroom and your urine is bright yellow or orange, you have very expensive urine. You will not see that with Juice Plus. But I want to close this out really by saying that you do not have to be a microbiologist. You do not have to be, a wellness professional, a firecracker, Cuban sensation. And you definitely don't need to be a nurse for this to make sense. Whole food is way more powerful for your body than any supplement. If a pill could make you well, we would all be well. But Juice Plus can help immediately set yourself up for success by bridging those nutritional gaps, despite age, gender, level of wellness, anything. Put it into your body every single day and watch out. Watch out. 2 years later, 2 years on Juice Plus, this is what my life looks like now. I have been sick twice in 2 years, which is incredible. I mean, I used to be the girl calling out of work all the time because I could never get over my cold. Within 10 months of being in the Juice Plus business, I've replaced my full-time nurse's salary, so I never had to go back to the hospital. I've been able to stay home and be a full-time mom to Layne and really show her, I mean, I work, but I work on my own terms. I don't have a boss to call out to. If I want to go on vacation, I go on vacation. I get to meet all these beautiful people who are in line for us, you know, a similar purpose of inspiring healthy living around the world. We care about you. We want you to live well, and we're not going to give you any snake oil or any gimmicks. We're going to give you whole food. We're going to teach you to make one simple change, and we're going to be there every step of the way. So, Alice, thank you so much for putting this together, and the best to all of you.
Yes, thanks so much, Julie. And thank you to all of you guys for speaking tonight. And I mean, what else can I say beyond just get with the person that invited you tonight, give them a big hug, or if they're across the nation, send them an emoji of a hugging smiley face and get started. Just imagine each one of these women, they all three had a time when their lives looked much different. And what if your life could look different? And what if you could be at home with your child, or be saving for retirement, or, have exceptional health that you never thought was possible? So get with the person, let them know your feedback, let them know what you loved, and have a great night. Thanks, guys, so much. Bye.